Well, it's been a long time since I've actually done a video. You can see a lot has grown and a lot has changed. The asparagus bed's looking quite good. We've got some fronds coming through. I filled in some space with the leftover sweet corn that was very stunted, as you can see. We've got some lovely fronds growing for the asparagus, so they're looking quite good. Just need to give them a bit more soil on top because they are very shallow at the moment. This is my lettuce bed that I neglected for a little while. I was picking them, but I was picking them as heads, and I think what I probably should have been doing was picking the lettuces, the outside leaves, and keep picking them, because as you can see they've all bolted. But I have left them to go to seed because I think I'd like to try and collect the seed this year. And also because as they grow this big, the chickens actually really like them. The next bed over I'll show you in a little while. This is our pumpkin patch. The leaves are just starting to die off now, so you can start to really see some pumpkins growing through. That's my hand for scale, and the largest one is down there anyway. This is the area that there was going to be the fruit cage, that is probably still going to be the fruit cage, but I've only just started getting the cardboard on. It's had a tarp over it while we sort of get the rest of the place sorted. And of course all the bindweed grew underneath it, but the tarp did keep it down a little bit. So now I've put the cardboard, I've taken the tarp off, scraped as much of the bindweed as I can be bothered to scrape off, put the cardboard down, and I'm in the process of sieving some wood chip. I did this yesterday and sort of gave up after 7 or 8 wheelbarrow loads because, well, it was a long old day yesterday. Next we've got some Brussels sprouts, which are doing very nicely. Not as big as they could be, but still doing okay. And some what I believe are cauliflower, possibly, or something else, that I sort of filled in there. And then here you can see some lovely red-ish kale. That this was all planted up with stuff that just went to seed and didn't do anything. Possibly it got too hot, don't know. It was planted quite late, so I think it just sort of panicked, got stressed out and went, I must procreate, that's the word. And of course that's what it's doing now, and the bees love it, so I've left it. Even though they can't necessarily get at all of them, the bees do have a go, so I've just left it because it's not doing any harm. And then amongst there's all these little red kale that you can't really see through the mesh, and a few random straggly things that are proper vegetables, but I can't remember what they are, but from the leaf shape I believe they're cauliflower. I don't actually see any cauliflowers in them as yet, but fingers crossed. The next one, this was just let go to seed, unfortunately. We were going to put stuff on there and then we didn't, so that is all weeds under there. There's nothing of any use under there, and you can see the bindweed poking out as well, so that really needs done. That is a long old job, so we're probably one weekend going to go at that, but at least at the moment with the cover on it, the weed seeds can't get out and sort of be blown everywhere, so at least we're doing that. The sweet corn has done really very nicely. These, with they've got sort of reddish stem and these lovely dark leaves. You can see the difference between that and its more sort of standard look neighbour. They have done very nicely and they are beautiful. The thing with sweet corn is you want it really fresh, because once it's picked, all of the sugars start converting into starches and it goes sort of flowery and less sweet. So we sort of pick them and then take them straight home and eat them. So that's done very nicely for us. Even this very small patch of ones that were put in a little bit too late, weren't terribly well looked after, they have done very nicely for us, as has the kale. You can see where I've stripped it, and that's been sort of dehumidified, so I've got like kale, and you can see where this really needs a bit more room to grow. Poor thing, but I've just got a netting on it just to sort of protect it a little bit from the last of the butterflies. So I'll just loosen that off now and take these pegs out. Oh, there we go. Got these to hold the netting down. So that's the kale, that's doing quite nicely. That needs to come off as well. I'll do that properly in a little while, but just needs a bit of freedom. We had to do that with the sprouts as well, because the netting was just that little bit too short for them, and of course it was constraining them. We've got a cauliflower in here, which you can just see in there, the beginnings of a cauliflower, so that's very exciting in there. Some cabbage, that's starting to heart up quite nicely, some of them. Some more cauliflower, a random kale that snuck in, this I think was probably broccoli or something, another kind of brassica. And then we've got another little cauliflower in there. Actually, yeah, doesn't look too great, but who cares. And then that's our potato bed along there that you can see has died back, and we've just sort of started lifting them as we need them and storing them in the ground. So I don't know how long it's been, but it really has grown very, very quickly. Oh, and of course I've got my little bean cluster there. That's been quite good as well. Need more of those next year. It's been not a bad first year. There we go, quick update.